In this video I do some more of the scenics, talk about some of the plans for the 4th baseboard and some track maintenance and testing trains in the coal loader area. Hello, I'm Sean and welcome to the channel. In this video we're going to do a bit more of the scenics. So we're going to start off with the rock face here and do a little bit more scenics on that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to mix up some light grey acrylic because I just want to do some grey highlights on this bit. So let's find a nice brush. So just mixing up a bit of grey acrylic and white acrylic. Just try and get a nice lighter grey texture. Okay. So what I want to do with this is you just want to do highlights in certain areas, just to bring out a bit of differences in the rock. Now I'm gonna dry brush this on. Just want to pick out different areas. It just gives a bit of a different depth to the rock faces rather than just completely grey. So you see it's just starting to make a difference now. Different tones. And when you're doing something like this, experiment as well. Try different colours, try different ways. So all you're doing is just highlighting some of the bits. You have different textures. Yeah, a lot of this scenic work is all about layers. It's all about different layers, and each layer you add, the better it's going to look. Each layer you add to the model. Yeah, it could be something really small like I'm doing now. It can make a really big difference. Okay, right. Put that in there. Try and do a close up. So you see where the highlights gives a little bit of a different texture to the rock face. Okay. Right, so what I want to do now while that's drying, just want to do a bit of scatter across the top here. To, just going to put a bit of scatter across there just to break it up a bit. Okay, so we're going to start with some PVA glue. I'm just going to brush some PVA glue on. Use a nice big brush for this. Well, biggish brush. So I use roughly this size brush, soft bristles. So we're just going to start by just doing a coat of PVA. Just across the top. Just put that there from that. What I'll also try and do is be careful not to glue this side to this side, because like I said, this whole section actually comes out. Now I'm kind of torn whether I want to keep it like that or just glue it in, but to be honest, more I think about it, I'll probably just keep it like that so it comes out, just in case there's any derailments or anything in the tunnel. I could just pull that section out and then sort out the derailment. And also just the other side of this, under these tracks here, there's two mounting bolts that mount the top layer, and there's mounting bolts that mount the bottom layer. So having this bit not in the way might make life a bit easier. Yeah, just a little bit of glue on top there. Right, now I'm going to start adding the scatter along this bit now, and one opting for first. Some of this one I don't know what this one's called, but I know it comes from the Woodland Scenics river kit, water kit, realistic water kit. It came from that. Yeah, kind of a lot of scatters, which is great. Right, so all I'm doing now, this is going to be the first layer of scatter. I'm going to do a few layers. Actually, what I might do before that, thinking about it, what I might do is go back to the specialist aggregates, maybe just do a layer of that before doing the layer of the brown cover. So I'm just going to do a light layer of that. The other scatter I could just always dab it in. Okay, so it's just a slight muddy texture. Right, now we'll go on with this scatter. Okay, so we'll start off just along the top. My static grass applicator hasn't arrived yet, but hopefully that should arrive in next day or so. So might add some static grass along these bits as well. Well, I say I will, put a bit of static grass on these bits. I think it'll bring something to it. Right, so just got this layer. Right, so what I'm going to do now, add some green grass fine turf. Just try and add some different layers to it. Don't want too much on there, it's just enough to have a little bit of difference in colour. Sorry if the arm's in the way a bit. Right. And now, what else? I've got another green grass fine turf. This one looks a bit darker. what I'll do, just lightly tap this in. That'll be alright. Okay, so see it's added a bit of colour to different grass textures. Now when this is all dry, I'm gonna do some bushes around here, maybe a couple of trees, and make some more trees just to go around the top. It should look okay. Right, so what I'll do now, I'll go back to this bit. Now I'm going to add some more marks on here. So I'm going to dry brush some green acrylic, similar to what I've done with the tunnel mouth. Where you just dry brush some bits in. Just dry brush some bits into the rock. And again, you got to think about where do you think moss would grow on the rock. That's the bits you got to work on. It gives a little bit more character to your rock face. You don't want to overdo it. You're just giving it one more layer of detail. One more layer of detail to the rock. So I think now just a little bit up there. Yes, good for that colour. Just turn the light on, it's getting a bit darker. Okay, just turn the light on. Right, so try and get close up here and then. As you can see, I've got all the green marks in that. So it gives a nice moss effect. Right. Now, while that's drying, let's talk about the future plans for the fourth baseboard. Right, this is the fourth baseboard as it is now. So you see, so the two tracks on the top level. There's the two tracks going into the tunnel, but these are not attached yet. That was the tunnel mouth that we looked at the other day. Now, the plan is that these tracks here are going to go across here, probably possibly sound like a viaduct. You know, all this is, it's all to be decided. You know, there's a lot of different ideas going around. You know, so everything's subject to change when it comes to all this bit. Now, I want to show you this bit. It's a bit of frame board. Now, pop that there for a minute. Now, you're probably wondering why there is Lego track on the layout. Now, before I started doing this, I was doing Lego layout. Actually, I've got a ton of it there. Yeah. In fact, down here, this was a train I was in the process of making, trying to make an American train. So I was doing a American style layout. But anyway, back to the TT layout. I noticed when I was looking at the curved track, so this right, you know, second radius. I've got a third radius somewhere. Yeah, third radius. Right, now what I noticed, now, you know, don't take this for gospel, but what I have noticed is that the radius of Lego R40 curves are very similar radius to a second and third curve if it was dual track. So basically what I've done was, if you think this Lego rail here, if you try and aim that for the centre of the TT120 track, and the same again, it's almost perfect. It's not, you know, completely there, it's not completely accurate, but it gives you a rough idea. So that being said, for this bit I've been using the Lego track for planning, so that's why this bit's a Lego track. Now with the Lego track, this is where I've got all this frame board bit from. So my plan is that, okay, right, so you imagine two top tracks there, goes along, then goes on the frame board, then it goes down, so there'll be like another baseboard there, and then the frame board section will go under this track as a bridge, and then it'll curve round and then into the tunnel there. Now, the way I've worked it is so that when the trains are going up, so basically on this side they'll be going up, they'll be going around under the tunnel, under the bridge, and then they'll be going on the outside track going up, which is the reason why I'll have the track crossing over each other, so that the up line is always going up the outside. Now I'm going to put a power base, DCC power base on the outside anyway, but the reason why they need to go up on the outside is because the outside will have a less gradient than the inside. The inside will have a steeper gradient, so that's the reason why it's going to kind of bridge over, then go around. But at the moment, this baseboard hasn't even got the underframe on it yet, which I'm going to be doing the weekend, and it's being propped up by the chair. So hopefully when the chair's out of the way and it's standing on its own feet, things should be a lot more clearer. But that's basically the plan for this baseboard, and the rest of it is to be decided, when I've got a bit more done on this one. Right, so let's go back to some of the scenics. Right, so the next bit now, I'm just going to dry brush some brown acrylic on this rock face again to just add another layer of detail. As you see, the green is really standing out, and it just gives it a little bit extra detail. So what I've got, back to my light brown acrylic. Now again, I just want to dry brush this on. I don't want to really go to town on it. I just want to dry brush it on. Just want different highlights. Got a bit of white there. White bit of plaster showing there. Let's cover that up, a bit of foliage. Yeah, you don't want to go to town on it. You just want to do small bits. It just breaks up the colours a bit, and it just gives a bit more character. Might have been a bit much there, but that'll be alright. Yeah, do enjoy doing rock faces. I don't know if you could tell. It's just so much you could do with them. You just experiment, and then you find different ways. Try and not get my arm in the picture. But you see already how that layer is having a good effect. The layer of brown's having good effect. Because yes, it is a rock face, but you don't want it to just look completely grey. Yeah. Just gotta add some different textures. Okay, right. So as you can see, and that bit of brown has made a fair bit of difference. So if I could just zoom in, so you see where all the different colours all blend. And this is just dry brushed on. That's all you need to do, just dry brush it on, and you get different highlights and different textures. All gives character. Okay, right. While I wait for that to dry, just going to look at the coal mine section, or the coal loader section, and going to do some track maintenance, and we're going to test some trains. Okay, right now, this bit you may recognise is the coal loader section. This bit would normally have this building sort of about there, but at the moment I've unplugged this building for the moment because you see I've still got a lot to do on it, so I'm making that my task the weekend, just to get a bit more done on that. But while the building's off, I just want to get this track working, because I noticed there's a company, I think it's called Arnold. I think now, I know next to nothing about this company, but I think it could be a branch from Hornby, if it makes any sense. But I've seen a lot of people's layouts where they've had these bogie hopper wagons that were from Arnold, and my plan is they come in packs of 3, and I think they're £108, I think, for a pack of 3. Now my future plans is to maybe get a couple of packs of them and have them here, and then maybe a train just shunting them about. You know, maybe a train just coming in and then shunts the bogie hoppers in empty, and then maybe just make some magnetic loads of coal that I can just basically put in and pull out. So when it's going in empty. When it's going out, it's got loaded coal. But I know that there was a video I was watching before of like an American layout, and it was 2 levels, and it was very clever. And it basically, on the first level, there was a coal loader that was loading up real coal in the wagons, and then the same train that was being loaded up was then moved to the top level, where there was a coal unloader, which then unloaded it. It literally pulled the wagons up like that and twisted them upside down in like a coal unloader, and basically the coal come out of them, goes down like a pipe to the coal loader in the bottom, and basically when the train went back down, it loaded back up again. And I thought that was really good. I was really impressed with that. I mean, if I had another shot at the layout, I'd probably do it the same. Coal loader at the bottom, and then an unloader at the top. But it's, you live and learn. But that was a really good idea. But anyway, back to this bit. I've taped up the wires with a bit of insulator tape. These are the wires that attach to the building to give the lights in the building. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to clean the track. I've already made some grooves where the track is, and test with the wagon. It's my little tester wagon. As you see, I've been testing some weathering on this wagon as well. If you want to learn how to do weathering, just buy a wagon and give it a go. Got a real coal load in there. Now, I didn't know that was real coal until I started touching it. I was like getting black soot on my hands, but I found out it is actually real coal. But what I've done to make sure the gaps are okay, you just run the wagons over and see if you get any resistance. If you get any resistance, then trains running over it may be a bit of a problem. But I've done this off of camera because it's a very long process. But basically what I've done was where there's a bit of resistance, I just carefully got a small screwdriver and a Stanley blade, making sure all the power is off as well before doing this. And I just made the grooves in between the hard stand bit and the rails, just to make sure the train can go over it with no problems. So just testing it along there. There you see the little coal stage here while we're over it. That's my signal box, Pico signal box. Really good kit. But all I want to have a look at while we're here is this bit. Now, I scratch built this coal stage out of matchsticks. This is all matchsticks. Now, remember what I said before, when it comes to building stuff, look around the house and see if there's anything around the house. And matchsticks is a very, very good example of that. You can make anything with matchsticks. Literally anything with matchsticks. As you see here, makes a nice coal stage. Might have to paint some pieces because this is all plaster from when I've done all this bit. As you can see, I didn't do much covering. As you can see, I made a bit of a mess. Now, these bits here, they used to be yard lights, but they went a bit wrong. There used to be these yard lights. I've got a fans in now. They're good yard lights, but the wires got tugged about, and while I was doing all this bit as well, they all kind of snapped off. So I've got to get some more. But that's for another day. Right, so what I'm going to do now, start cleaning this track. What I'm going to do is just wipe down the rails. And what I'm using here is called track rubber. Don't use sandpaper or anything like that. You use one of these. Yeah, it's only a couple of quid, weren't too expensive. But when you clean your track, use one of these. Some people use IPA, IPA alcohol cleaner. I haven't used that yet, but I might give that a go. But rule of thumb is use a track rubber to clean your track. And I recommend, it depends how much you use your layout, but maybe once a month just run the track rubber over it. It keeps the track nice and clean. And also think about cleaning the wheels on your locos as well. Because if your track's dirty and then you clean your track and you haven't cleaned your wheels, the wheels on your locos, your rolling stock, they're still going to have that dirt on it. So basically what you've done there, you've cleaned the track, and then what's on the locos and the rolling stock then goes back on it. So it's a good idea to just check the loco wheels once in a while, check your wagon wheels once in a while, or any rolling stock wheels, just to make sure they're cleaned. So right, another thing I do, gives it a little bit of a hoover. Now these are meant for a novelty, but they can actually pick up. So just try and pick up any of the metal shards. Do anything with track work, it's a good idea, just give it a bit of a hoover, even with little handheld hoover. So this didn't come off of this, but that's like some stuff previous that I've picked up. You could also use these for scatter if you're doing a large layer of scatter. As long as in the tub's clean and nothing else is in it, you could always use this to hoover up the excess scatter and then reuse it. So yeah, handy bit of kit. I think I got off Amazon for, I think it was about a tenner, off Amazon. But yeah, it's meant to be a novelty, but it's a good bit of kit. So right, let's see if the train works. I'm using the A4 at the moment. It's my shunters. My 08 shunter I've got, it's not too good at the moment. As you can see, one's fine in that siding. Let's see if I can, yeah, I think that would be alright. It's an unusual situation for a A4 to be going into a coal loader area, but my 08 shunter's a bit poorly at the moment. I think the motor might have gone in it, but I might do a motor conversion on it. You can get a different motor for it, it's a bit more better, but it's not on my major list at the moment, so it'll be something down the line. Right, so I can try this side in now. If I go the right way, it'll be handy. Right, so far so good. That might have stopped on its own there. Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it's just a bit jittery on that, but let's try that again. Yeah, I think it's just a bit jittery on that one. There's a bit of work there. Okay, right, so I'll change the points. That's set for straight, that's set for straight. So we want to try and go on this side in now.